Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's men's non-conference soccer action on tap this evening, as it will be the Battle of Yellow Jackets. The Waynesburg University Yellow Jackets have traveled to Berea to do battle with Baldwin Wallace, and both these teams come in playing particularly well. Waynesburg comes in on the heels of back-to-back wins, their first two wins of the season. They defeated Penn State Altoona 7-1 on September 3rd. And then last Saturday, September 6th, they traveled to Penn State Greensburg, Pitt Greensburg, I should say, and won 1-0. Baldwin Wallace comes in, winners of three of the last four. They won at Geneva and Allegheny by 4-3 and 4-2 counts. Then won against the Teal Tomcats in their home opener, 1-0 earlier this week before traveling on Thursday across the county to University Heights, where they had a draw against John Carroll at 2-2. So Baldwin Wallace comes in overall with a 3-2-1 record. They're 1-0 at home, whereas Waynesburg comes in with a 2-2 overall record. They are 1-2 away from home, but they will be looking to keep alive what is a two-game win streak, and Baldwin Wallace looking to get back in the win column after having a tie against John Carroll, their former Ohio Athletic Conference rival. It has since moved on to the North Coast Athletic Conference. Waynesburg is out of the President's Athletic Conference, comprised mostly of teams from the Pennsylvania area. We're about 90 seconds away from the introductions of the starting lineups, the national anthem, and the opening kickoff of today's game, as the Yellow Jackets look to protect home field for the second consecutive game. Both teams reporting their benches, changing out of their warm-ups and changing into their uniforms for this evening's battle between the Yellow Jackets. So there's going to be a lot of Yellow Jackets possessing the ball comments throughout the game. Just want to get that warning out of the way now. So if you get a little bit confused, don't worry. I'm probably going to be there right there with you in terms of trying to figure out which Yellow Jacket team is in possession of the ball. And fortunately, their colors are different enough and it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Baldwin Wallace, brown, gold, and white. Waynesburg, black, orange, and white. Very Halloween-esque as we get into this fall season. And it should be a good one on tap this evening. Again, 2-2 are the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. 3-2-1 are the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Both teams on an upswing. Waynesburg comes in, winners of the last two. And they've played particularly well in those other two losses, too. They started the season at Worcester and at Mount Union. Worcester is a team that BW will see coming up in a couple of weeks. And Mount Union not too far in the future after that, as they are an OAC team as well. Worcester out of the North Coast Athletic Conference. Always a perennial tough program on the soccer pitch, and Waynesburg played right with them. Lost 3-2 and then lost 2-1 at Mount Union. Both of those games very close, very tough contests on the road, and they were able to hang tough with them. And the Jackets lost. They played against Carnegie Mellon, lost 2-0, and they lost at Penn State Marion 2-1. So again, they have been close in their setbacks as well. This is an opportunity for both teams today to really start to separate themselves in the non-conference portion of their schedule as to who is able to build enough momentum going into conference play that they can challenge for a spot in postseason play. The team captains and representatives are meeting with the officials now. They exchange fist bumps with the officials and the captain, their fellow captains from the opposite side, and we're just about set for the team to take the pitch, for the players, I should say, as the teams will walk out with the officials, and then the introductions of the starting lineups will be made. after opening on the road or at neutral sites in their first 4 games of the season. This is the second home game in 3 outings for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, and they'll be home once more on Wednesday, September 17th, against those very same Worcester Fighting Scots that we were just talking about. Right now, we're going to turn things over to the public address announcer for the introduction of the starting lineups and the national anthem.
Freshman in the goal, number 00, Devin Patel. Sophomore midfielder, number 5, Will Scott. Sophomore midfielder, number 6, Sarpong Kwabia. Sophomore forward, number 9, Joshua Smith. Senior forward, number 10, Michael Canoe. Junior defender, number 14, Mason Lewis. Freshman forward, number 17, John Engel. Sophomore defender, number 19, Samuel Norris. Freshman defender, number 23, Jordan Bridges. Junior defender, number 25, Gabe Bowman. And sophomore forward, number 26, Liam Mowbray. Waynesburg is coached by Trey Lunger, and he is assisted by Tyler Morbacher and Sam Fashel. And now for your BW Yellow Jackets. Junior goalkeeper from Avon, Ohio, number 00, Seth Warren. Sophomore defender from Muskegon, Michigan, number 3, Brady Brown. Freshman defender from Hamburg, New York, number 5, Thomas Getz. Sophomore midfielder from Copley, Ohio, number 8, Robbie Rochford. Senior forward from Parma, Ohio, number 9, Max Yakum. Senior midfielder from Cleveland, Ohio, number 10, Matt Sladany. Sophomore midfielder from Alexandria, Virginia, number 12, McGuire Alden. Senior defender from Talmadge, Ohio, number 14, Ben McCulley. Junior forward from Lewiston, New York, number 17, Dominic Massaro. Freshman forward from Middleburg Heights, Ohio, number 18, Omar Al-Hilabi. And junior defender from Cleveland, Ohio, number 24, Braden Lamb. BW is coached by Reed Ayers and is assisted by Joe Jovanovski, Colin Fabian, Vince Milner, Paul Viscomi, and Danny Ruppel. At this time, we ask that all fans please rise and kindly remove your caps as we honor America and those who protect our freedom at home and abroad with the playing of our national anthem.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. Men's soccer action just about set to get underway. The starters have been introduced, the national anthem has been played, and both teams are on the pitch ready to go, having their final huddles before we get tonight's contest underway. Waynesburg will be in the all-black uniform with orange stripes down the front of the jersey, white numbers on the back. Baldwin Wallace will be in white jerseys with brown shorts and white socks with brown numerals trimmed in gold on the back and brown and white alternating stripes with the BW Athletic logo on the left shoulder on the front. The Waynesburg keeper will be in highlighter blue, and the Yellow Jacket keeper, Seth Warwick, will be in highlighter yellow to our left. BW will go left to right across your screens here in the first half. Waynesburg will go right to left. BW will possess the ball first. And the official gives a signal. Max Yocum will send it back to McGuire Alden. It'll get sent up the field, and the Yellow Jackets will drop it back on their side of midfield before it's headed back by Waynesburg, all only for the Yellow Jackets to take it back as Robbie Rochford will drop it to Thomas Getz to McGuire Alden. On the left side to Brown, and Ben McCauley will track it down before Seth Warwick will get it and clear out past midfield to Dominic Macero. Macero up to Matt Skladany. Skladany drops it back on the Baldwin Wallace side of midfield to Thomas Getz, and he'll send it back all the way to Seth Warwick in goal. Warwick this year has played 270 minutes. He's allowed 5 goals with 11 saves and a 2-1 record, and he has a .688 save percentage. On the pitch for the Yellow Jackets in goal, Seth Warwick. On defense, sophomore number 3, Brady Brown. Thomas Getz, he's a 6'3 freshman from Hamburg, New York, and he wears number 5. Robbie Rochford is a sophomore midfielder from Fairlawn, Ohio, and Copley High School. He wears number 8. Number 9, Max Yocum, is a 6-foot senior forward from Parma, Ohio, and Normandy High School. The Yellow Jackets threaten, but it's cleared out by Waynesburg. Also on the field, a 5'11 senior midfielder for the Jackets from St. Edward High School, number 10, Matthew Skladany. McGuire Alden is a 5'8 sophomore midfielder from Alexandria, Virginia, and Thomas A. Edison High School. He wears number 12. Joining them on the pitch, a senior midfielder from Talmadge, number 14, Ben McCauley. At midfield, a 5'8 junior from Lewiston, New York, number 17, Dominic Macero. At midfield, a 5'10 freshman from Middleburg Heights, Ohio, right next door, and Berea Mid-Park High School, number 18, Omar Al-Halabi. And at midfield, a junior from Lutheran West High School, number 24, Braden Lamb. Waynesburg threatened to get it close to the Yellow Jacket net, but Baldwin Wallace will take over on a free kick after a foul. On the pitch for Waynesburg, if you missed the starting lineup, in goal, number 00, Devin Patel. At midfield, a 5'10 sophomore from Manassas, Virginia, number 5, Will Scott. At midfield, a 5'10 sophomore from Odenton, Maryland, number 6, Sarpong Quabia. At forward, a 6'2 sophomore from Dover, Ohio, the former Tornado, is number 9, Joshua Smith. At forward, a 6-foot senior from Columbus, Ohio, and Tree of Life Christian, number 10, Michael Canoe. At midfield, a 6-foot junior from Venetia, Pennsylvania, number 14, Mason Lewis. At forward, a 5'8 freshman from Dallas, Georgia, number 17, John Engel. On defense, a 5'11 sophomore from Natrona Heights, Pennsylvania, and Highlands High School, number 19, Samuel Norris. On defense, a 5'9 freshman from Williamsburg, Virginia, and Bruton High School, number 23, Jordan Bridges. On defense, a 6'4 junior from Marietta, Georgia, and Wheeler High School, number 25, Gabe Bowman. And at midfield, a 5'11 sophomore from Cumberland, Maryland, number 26, Liam Mowbray. So the Yellow Jackets threaten, but they are the last to touch before it goes over the end line, so it'll result in a goal kick for the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. Patel sends it near side to Bridges. Bridges has it, carry him out. And it's Baldwin Wallace on the throw-in. Brown handles it to Skladany. Skladany has it punched away, but it's still controlled by the Jackets. A feed into the box. Gets it to Yocum, but it's sent out. Right at the same time as a foul was committed by Baldwin Wallace, so it'll be a free kick coming up for Waynesburg. Keeper Devin Patel will handle the honors, and he lofts a pass deep down the field and traveled about 60 yards on the fly before it was headed down by a Waynesburg teammate, only to have it taken away by the Yellow Jackets. It gets slipped up the field to Rochford. He's across midfield, and his pass is deflected out of bounds. It'll be thrown in by Braden Lamb. Lamb looking for Ahalabi. It gets lobbed into the box, but it's scooped up by Patel, and he'll walk it out to the top of the box before he feigns a roll over to his left. Now he will throw it over to his left to Bridges. Bridges drops it back, and somehow keeping it in his possession was Gabe Bowman. Bowman was going to his left. The ball was going to his right, and he still kept a hold of it. Now it's slipped to Engel. Engel with the left foot. Nice lead pass, and it's a goal for Waynesburg. Is on the one-touch shot was Gabe Bowman. He put it in the back of the net for the tally. That did not take long for Waynesburg. Check that. An offsides call was placed against Waynesburg, so you can wave off the tally. And Seth Warwick will send it down the field. As the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets threaten, but Patel steps up into the passing lane and takes it away. So Waynesburg trying to push it across midfield, and they will. Quibia set it up for one of his teammates on the wide side. It was knocked out by Baldwin Wallace, so it'll be a throw-in for Waynesburg. McCauley deflects it out for Baldwin Wallace. Out of the box, that is. Now a left-footed shot will go wide of the post, and it will result in a goal kick coming up for Seth Warwick of the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace University. Warwick blasts it across midfield to the other 35. It's headed in the right direction by Baldwin Wallace, but then taken away quickly by Waynesburg, and then Waynesburg with the clear. And sent down the field by Baldwin Wallace once more. Al-Halabi tries to head it towards the net, and Patel will come out of the scramble with the ball. Patel will send it across midfield. Baldwin Wallace will try and battle for it. But Waynesburg holds possession. It'll be sent wide by Bowman. And it's sent near side. It'll be tracked down by Canoe. Canoe drops it back across midfield to Bridges. Bridges one touches it up to Engel. But it's battled for by Rochford. And Engel will keep it, only for McGuire Alden to steal it for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. It gets dropped back to Brady Brown. Brown swings it back to Warwick. Warwick touches it up with the right foot a couple times and then sends it down the field. It will be headed out, or rather to Patel. He caught up to it. Otherwise, it would have resulted in the first corner of the night for the Yellow Jackets. Patel will swing it over his shoulder to Bridges on the left side of the field, or should say to his left. And sent down the field by Sammy Norris. Nice lead pass from Lewis. Gets it across midfield, and Waynesburg will battle for it against Baldwin Wallace, and McCauley lets it go out of bounds despite his best efforts off of his foot along the end line. So that's a corner coming up for Waynesburg. It's the first corner we've seen tonight. And it will be taken by Quabia. Check that. Now it will be John Engel who will do the honors. He right foots it into the box. It's headed out by Getz. Quabia tries to track it down. Jackets clear it out momentarily, but then it's headed backwards by Waynesburg before BW overruns it. Rochford will deflect it to Getz. Now to Brown. Brown swings it back to Warwick. Warwick with the right foot. Launches it toward midfield. It's Lamb who controls it. Pops it over the head of a couple of Waynesburg midfielders. And now Macero gets in on the mix, and he takes it away. Macero slips it past the defender. Al-Halabi with it. Right foots it into the box, and it's knocked out momentarily by Waynesburg. Then Macero controls it and tries to put a shot on goal, but it sails left of the post, and it'll result in a goal kick for the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. The kick is sent to Patel. Patel then gets it back on a one-touch from Scott. Patel swings it to his right. And on the clear, it's headed down the field by the Jackets. McCauley will track it. He'll flip it back to Warwick. Warwick launches it near side to Brown. Brown heads it out of bounds, and near midfield it'll be throw-in for Bridges of Waynesburg. And Bridges gets it into Scott, but it's knocked out by Scott. It'll be a Baldwin Wallace throw-in. Brown's throw-in, taken away by Waynesburg. Rochford giving Quabia all he could ask for, and a foul was called on Rochford, so it'll be a free kick coming up for Waynesburg. Well, we have this opportunity. I want to remind you that tonight's Yellow Jacket men's soccer game is being brought to you by University Hospitals Straczynski Sports Medicine Institute, proud official healthcare provider for BW Athletics and its student athletes. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. And Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company. You're listening to tonight's Yellow Jacket men's soccer game against the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets right here on Flow College. On the free kick, Waynesburg got possession back. It's Engel with it, left of the goal. It will be deflected back to Engel and then sent toward the goal, but through the uprights of the football field and well above the crossbar of the goal by Waynesburg. So Baldwin Wallace will get a goal kick coming up. Warwick gets it down the field. It's headed away by Waynesburg, only for the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace to battle for it. And it will go out off of Waynesburg, so Brown will throw it in for BW. Gets it to Yocum, then it's cleared by Waynesburg across midfield. And giving good chase is Canoe. He'll catch up to it in the far corner, and then it's knocked out by Getz, so it'll be a throw-in for Waynesburg. Thrown into the box, headed away by Baldwin Wallace. And Canoe tried to send it back, or Quiet Bia, I should say, sent it in. But again, cleared by the Yellow Jackets. Macero will slip it out to Yocum. Yocum, some fancy footwork to get around a defender. Gets it across midfield with a pass to Macero. Macero sends it to Skladany between the hash marks. Skladany drops it back to Getz. Getz sends it over to Lamb on the far side of the field. And it gets slipped into Yocum. Then drop back to Yocum. He's got a lead pass to Rochford. Rochford runs it out of the box, lobs it in, and Waynesburg on a deflection will come out and get it down the field. It's McCauley with it, who sends it back to Warwick. Warwick looking down the field, and he'll launch it to the 23-yard line where it's headed away by Waynesburg, only for the Jackets. And Waynesburg to exchange possessions. McCauley gets it to the far sideline and drops it for Rochford, only for Waynesburg to take it away. Block shot, now a slide tackle. Takes out Brady Brown. And Brown bent over at the waist, and Joshua Smith, to his credit, checking on him. Smith was the one who threw the tackle, and Brown was able to regather himself. It'll be a free kick for Baldwin Wallace. Matthew Skildany will take it. Skildany launches it toward the net, and Patel high points it and plucks it out of the air before he throws it down the field. McGuire Alden stops the initial pursuit down the field for Waynesburg. But Waynesburg will keep possession. They try to slip it across midfield, but Baldwin Wallace is there. Macero will try and clear it, only for Waynesburg to regain possession. Engel puts a shot toward the box, and on a dive, Warwick will keep it away from his net. He'll walk it to the top of the box and let Baldwin Wallace kind of calm things down. Now Warwick launches a punt deep down the field and overshoots everybody. Al-Halabi trying to give chase, and he will catch up to the ball. He'll drop it to the left of the box. Now a pass to Macero in the box. It's a little bit long, and he's not going to get there. It's going to result in a Waynesburg throw-in. Thomas Getz got away with one there. He put two hands on Michael Canoe, one on the front of the jersey, one on the back, and kind of wrestled him down to the ground. Waynesburg quickly back on the Baldwin Wallace side of midfield, only for it to be sent down to Warwick, who will scoop it up, and he will roll it to his right to Thomas Getz. Warwick back to Getz, near side. Getz up the field, has it stolen away by Quabia. Before it's tapped back to Warwick. He'll walk it out and push kick it with the right foot before finding a lane to give it to McGuire Alden. Alden with the left foot gets a nice lead pass, but it's headed away by Waynesburg. Baldwin Wallace gets possession back, and Al-Halabi unloads on a shot that is blocked by Waynesburg. Now McCauley steps into the fray and takes it away from Waynesburg. He slips it to Massaro. Massaro on a redirect. It's Rochford going up, and Rochford lands high on the shoulders and immediately clutches at his head. He went up for the ball and got undercut. And anybody who's had that happen knows that, A, that's an extremely painful scenario if you're on the receiving end, and B, it is an extremely dangerous play to have happen against you. And Rochford, a little worse for wear, getting off the field, and he will meet with the Baldwin Wallace training staff. And you hope for the best for him. He keeps extending his left leg as to say, you know, to try and shake loose the cobwebs, but you might need a little bit more than just that. And he's getting attended to by the training staff. The Jackets a man short right now with Rochford checking out, and they're going to get a substitution in. Checking in for the Jackets will be number 34, Gavin Nixon. He's a 6-foot freshman forward from Irvine, California, and Orange Lutheran High School. Baldwin Wallace will be awarded a free kick from just outside the box, and it's a 5-man wall set up by Waynesburg. Waynesburg also has a substitution, as it looks like Darren Gamez will check in. The wall has to be about 10 yards off the ball. And it is. And very shortly we will have the signal to restart play. And there it is. Kick on net is a lunging save to his right made by Devin Patel. Skodani had the free kick. It's sent up the field to Quabia. Deflected over to Will Scott. Now back to Gamez. And the lead pass is for Angle. Angle trying to track it down against Getz. He'll send it near the box. Out top, the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace get it cleared of the box for a moment. But Waynesburg takes it back over. A left-footed shot will carry him wide to the left of the cage. And that will result in a goal kick for the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace once more. It'll be Seth Warwick who will tee up the goal kick. Warwick with the kick all the way across midfield. Al-Halabi goes up in a collision with a Waynesburg player, happens midair. And unfortunately for that Waynesburg player, he was the cushion that Al-Halabi had. And that doesn't feel good when somebody lands on you from an 8-foot drop. And, oh, by the way, you're also taking an 8-foot drop as you went up for it, too. Free kick coming up for Waynesburg. Fortunately, all parties involved in that collision are able to stay on the field. Patel's lead pass gets into the box. It's headed backward by the Yellow Jackets. Now Waynesburg puts it towards the net, but Warwick will scoop it up and run it out. Lamb with it near midfield, overruns it and has it deflected out of bounds by Waynesburg. So the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace will get a throw in. It's headed back by Al-Halabi. And it's cleared out by Waynesburg before Baldwin Wallace will try and regain possession near the middle of the field. Quabia with it, and he has it taken away from him along the sideline, but it's knocked out of bounds by Baldwin Wallace, so it'll be a throw-in coming up. Lamb had it on his foot as he was hustling down the field, but he got it by a little extracurricular means, shall we say. He threw a nice forearm shiver that would make him very popular for any football team, and he put a Waynesburg yellow jacket on the turf, and that drew the ire of the official. As well it should. Now a free kick coming up for Waynesburg. It's past the Baldwin Wallace wall. BW, however, will get the clear. Not quite to midfield, but now it'll be sent over across midfield into Waynesburg's defensive territory, where Patel with a beautiful lead pass. That was an absolute rainbow of an arc. And an infraction is called against Waynesburg, so Baldwin Wallace will get a free kick coming up along that far sideline. Just past the midway point in this first half, when we are scoreless between Baldwin Wallace and Waynesburg, the battle of the Yellow Jackets. When we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that tonight's Yellow Jacket men's soccer game is being brought to you by City Barbecue, serving quality and creating happiness since 1999. The Oswald Company, Risk and Insurance leaders since 1893. And Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. You're enjoying today's Yellow Jacket men's soccer game on a Flow College. Dominic Macero hustles after and wrestles the ball away from a Waynesburg Yellow Jacket, only to have Waynesburg regain possession. The left-footed shot is just out of the reach of Seth Warwick, and it's a goal for Waynesburg. Getting on the board is Sarpong Quabia, and he buried it upper left corner just out of the reach of Seth Warwick. So with 21:01 to play in the first half, Waynesburg with a 1-0 lead over the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets.
Back in the game for Baldwin Wallace, number 8, Robbie Rochford.
Baldwin Wallace started with possession after the goal, but it was quickly taken by Waynesburg after the lead pass for Baldwin Wallace went out of play and resulted in the Waynesburg throw-in. Brady Brown with the throw-in for Baldwin Wallace on the near side now. Will Scott has it carry him off of his chest, and he takes it away, only for Dominic Macero to get it back for Baldwin Wallace. McGuire Alden has it taken away from him, and here comes an attack by Waynesburg, only for Baldwin Wallace to take it away. Alden over to Rochford. Rochford to Al-Halabi. It's knocked out by Waynesburg. Al-Halabi was favoring that left foot just a second ago. I wonder if he got caught with a cleat, got stepped on. Hopefully he's able to shake it loose. Brown takes the lead pass across the field. It's headed away from trouble by Macero. And Baldwin Wallace nearly picked up a handball, as it sure looked like Brown got his hand near the ball and may have redirected it.
Subbing in for Waynesburg, number 20, Braden Espenshade.
Now on the pitch, or Waynesburg, as Baldwin Wallace threatens. It's Preston Shade. And Brown will possess it. Try to get it to McGuire Alden, but Waynesburg took it away. Good footwork by Waynesburg to keep it away from a Yellow Jacket midfielder and get a good crossing pass down the field. Now it's taken away by Jordan Bridges. And the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace called for a foul, so Waynesburg will get a free kick. Kick gets into the box, but it's headed out by Baldwin Wallace and cleared out near midfield. Two Jackets given pursuit, and it's taken away. That's Omar Al-Halabi. He lost it back, though, to Jordan Bridges, who dropped it back to keeper Devin Patel. And the Yellow Jackets will get it right back. This is Dominic Macero on a crossing pass, gets it into the box. Wide open look for the Yellow Jackets. And it's deflected out by Waynesburg as Skladany had a good look, and it was one-on-one, him and the goalkeeper. And then it was blocked at the last second. We have an injured Waynesburg player down on the field. It is Samuel Norris who's being attended to. And Norris just got tripped over by one of his teammates. As if to add insult to injury, Joshua Smith, trying to pump up the rest of the guys, accidentally contacted the injured teammate on the field. Once we resume play, it'll be a corner kick for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets.
Corner kick for Baldwin Wallace by number 10, Matthew Skladany.
Skladany sends it towards the box, and it's going to be headed past the end line and result in a goal kick for Waynesburg. Two new Yellow Jackets come onto the pitch as Brown and Alden will check out.
Now in the game for Baldwin Wallace, number 23, Nate Boostray. And number 28, Matt Aspinall.
So checking in for Baldwin Wallace, number 23, Nate Usre. And he is a 5'9" junior forward from Brecksville, Broadview Heights, not too far away from here, down I-480 and 77 way. And also into the match, a 5'10" senior defender from Twinsburg, number 28, Matt Aspinall. Baldwin Wallace will get a throw in. Gets to Rochford. He tries to head it toward the Waynesburg goal, but it's cleared out of play and will result in another throw-in for the Jackets. Waynesburg takes it across midfield. Long lead pass for Engel, and offsides is the call. So a free kick is forthcoming for the Yellow Jackets. After today, it'll be a nice stretch of home games for Waynesburg as they return home on Tuesday the 16th to host Carlow. Then Saturday, September 20th, for a battle with LaRoche. And then after a game at Westminster on September 24th, they'll be right back home on Saturday, September 27th against Bethany. Good battle at midfield, won by Waynesburg. It's sent up to Will Scott. Scott will send it further right side. A good bump by the Jackets. Doesn't result in a call. We have a Yellow Jacket for Waynesburg that is down. And another that is laboring. Nick Bryan and Johnny Davis among the substitution for Waynesburg. There'll be a throw-in right in front of the Waynesburg bench for Baldwin Wallace. And it's kicked out by Waynesburg. That'll result in a throw-in. And it was kicked off of the back and neck area of one of the game crew members here at Baldwin Wallace as the throw-in gets lobbed into the box. Bicycle kick attempt does not go well, and it's cleared by Waynesburg out to midfield. Well, Michael Kane and Michael Gigante are in for the Jackets. Kane is a 5'9" senior forward from Kent, Ohio and Hudson High School, whereas Michael Gigante is a 5'11" senior forward from Uniontown Lake High School. Waynesburg on the throw-in. They head it down the field, do the Yellow Jackets, only for it to be dropped back to Baldwin Wallace keeper Seth Warwick, who then uncorks another beautiful kick that the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace will battle for. It will be Waynesburg who takes it away a couple of times now before the Yellow Jackets. Gavin Nixon will send it into the Waynesburg bench and join the ball there before he is directed out. And it will result in a throw-in coming up for Waynesburg. The throw-in is headed down the field by Baldwin Wallace. And this time it is cleared out by Waynesburg. Long lead pass for the Yellow Jackets off the throw-in. It's kicked out of play. That one might make it out of the stadium, and it does. It's over the bleachers on one bounce, and it's on its path off the premises here at Finnie Stadium. The throw-in is deep into the box, and it will be headed out by Gabe Bowman. Now the Baldwin Wallace controls it right in front of the net, and Patel will scramble out and retrieve the ball before he punts it across midfield. It's headed back by the Yellow Jackets. McCauley got hit while he was in the air and immediately clutches at his left knee. couple of his teammates, Nate Usre and Braden Lamb, along with Seth Warwick, will check on Ben McCauley, and a stoppage in play has occurred. McCauley seems to be in a pretty good amount of discomfort here, and you hope for his sake that he'll be able to shake it off. But now the players for Baldwin Wallace are calling for the trainer to come onto the field. It hasn't been an overly physical game, but it has been physical throughout much of this first half. And McCauley will put an arm around the shoulder of the trainer and will walk off. And now McCauley getting help from a second training staff member, so he might be down for a minute before he is cleared to return to competition. We'd love for it to be tonight after the evaluation, but have to do right by the young man, too. Can't put him in a bad spot to get potentially re-injured. Seth Warwick on the free kick from the 40-yard line. Gets it toward the box, and it's cleared by Waynesburg, says the official. So Cody Duckworth, the 5'11 junior defender from Massillon, Ohio, and Jackson High School, checks in, as does Tyler Martin, a 5'11 senior midfielder from Parker, Colorado, and Lutheran. He checks in for Waynesburg. Patel will catch the long lead pass out of the air. He'll try to settle the troops as he walks to the top of the box. Patel with the drop kick. It's headed away by the Yellow Jackets. Now twice. And one of the Yellow Jackets overruns it. And we have a stoppage right as the Yellow Jackets were breaking free toward a shot on goal that actually went into the back of the net, but play was stopped beforehand, and there's a lot of frustrated Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. A pretty good collision in two spots resulted in Yellow Jackets being down on the field, and that's when the whistle blew, but Baldwin Wallace was in pursuit, hot pursuit at that, of a shot on goal, and they had one taken off the board, quite literally. Now an officials conference takes place around the 16-yard line. And the head official is having a long discussion with players from both sides. The next time, they might not get a warning. They might just get a card. So a free kick coming up for Baldwin Wallace now. Seth Warwick will do the honors. He'll tee it up on the Waynesburg side of midfield. He launches it into the box. Patel high points it once more and catches it out of the air. Patel with the punt across midfield. And it's going to bounce one time before Waynesburg regains control on that far sideline. And now Baldwin Wallace will get a throw in after it's redirected by one of the Jacket defenders on Waynesburg. And a card has been issued. It's a yellow against Waynesburg. Michael Gigante drew it. So after the yellow card, it'll be a free kick for Baldwin Wallace. It went against Jordan Bridges. That's his first toward a disqualification. He picks up a second. It becomes a red. It's like technical fouls in basketball. You get 2 of them. Never really want to use them. And the clear attempt off of Waynesburg was blocked by Baldwin Wallace, and then it's directed from Baldwin Wallace off of Waynesburg out of bounds, so it will result in a throw-in. The throw-in is cleared out by Waynesburg. Good pursuit by Waynesburg, and the pass will be a little bit too long. It'll drop back to Seth Warwick of Baldwin Wallace. Now it's bantered back and forth between Waynesburg and Baldwin Wallace in a series of headers. And offsides is a call against Baldwin Wallace. Michael Gigante was running free along that left side of the field, but play was halted, and now a free kick is coming up for Waynesburg. Patel launches it deep down the field. It's headed toward the Yellow Jacket net, the Baldwin Wallace net, I should say. And Waynesburg will regain control of it near midfield now. Nice change of direction there from Bowman. Now on the lead feed. It's run out of bounds by Seth Warwick. It'll be a throw-in coming up for Waynesburg. 7 minutes left to go here in the first half of play. Between Waynesburg and Baldwin Wallace, I should say. That one is out of bounds, also off the Yellow Jacket. So another throw-in coming up for Waynesburg. Waynesburg with a lead feed toward the goal. It's sent out by the Yellow Jackets, and it'll be a throw-in in front of BW's bench for Waynesburg. This one will be headed away by the Yellow Jackets, and then they knock it out once more for another throw-in coming up. Baldwin Wallace was the last to touch as the ball went out along the far sideline. So it'll be another throw-in for Waynesburg. 5.5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Baldwin Wallace trails Waynesburg 1-0 on the board. It looks like this is going to result in a free kick, actually. Patel will take it right in front of the scorer's table and then hustle it back to be in his net. Waynesburg keeps possession. And this one will go out past the end line. It'll result in a goal kick for Baldwin Wallace. Warwick on the goal kick. Sends it deep down the field. It's headed backwards by a Waynesburg player. Now Patel will scoop it up, and he'll walk it to the top of his circle. Patel with a great punt. It's headed down and knocked away by the Yellow Jackets. It's taken right back by Waynesburg. That's Darren Gomez, who slips it into number 29, Nick Bryan. And Bryan puts it toward the net, where Warwick scoops it up and tries to clear it. And he struggles to do so as the ball gets dropped back to him. He'll catch it with his right hand, so to speak. Stop it, I guess, is the way to go. And then on the clearing pass, he gets the ball across midfield. The throw-in is taken away by Waynesburg. And another pursuit up the field by Baldwin Wallace will result in a goal kick coming up. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. As Patel launches that goal kick. UW with the takeaway. Now a lead pass up the pitch, and it'll be Gigante into the box. Slips a pass, and then it's sent out of play by Mike Kane. And that's another goal kick coming up for Waynesburg. Patel has it teed up, and he sends it across midfield. It's headed back into Waynesburg's defensive zone before the teams volley back and forth. Now BW on a good run. Had it going up the left side, and it's going to be a free kick coming up for Baldwin Wallace as Mike Kane was hauled down from behind. Would have been a good tackle if we're on the football field in a football game, American style, but we are not. And when you do something like that, you put hands on somebody, you're going to give up a free kick. It's taken and headed over the net. It will result in another goal kick coming up for Waynesburg. Now check that. It's going to be a corner for Baldwin Wallace, as the officials are going to say that it deflected off of one of the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. Carter Richardson takes the corner, and it's deflected out by the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. So another corner coming up for Baldwin Wallace. And just 34 seconds left to go here in the first half. He puts it into the box, and Patel will jump at it and corral it with both hands. He will walk it out to the top of the box. And punt it down the field. As there are just now 10 seconds and counting in this first half. It's knocked out of bounds by Baldwin Wallace. A quick throw in here for Waynesburg. And they cannot get a shot off. And we will head into the halftime break with Waynesburg leading Baldwin Wallace by a 1-0 count. And we're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll have some first half statistics for you and go over the second half of action from Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying today's soccer game between Waynesburg and Baldwin Wallace on Flow College. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. Matt Florjancic on the call of today's game between Waynesburg and Baldwin Wallace. Taking a look at the first half statistics, Baldwin Wallace with 6 shots overall, 2 have reached goal, and they've committed 6 fouls. Waynesburg, 3 shots, 1 on goal, 1 tally, and 8 fouls committed in 45 minutes. Baldwin Wallace keeper Seth Warwick has made no saves and allowed 1 goal. Devin Patel for Waynesburg has allowed 0 goals and made 2 saves. Baldwin Wallace leading in corner kicks 3-1 over Waynesburg, but again, all 3 of Waynesburg's shots and the 1 on goal belong to Sarpong Kwabia, who has the lone tally of the evening. Kwabia has committed 2 fouls. Josh Smith has 2 fouls, and then Michael Canoe and Jordan Bridges each with 1, while Nick Bryan, in a relief for Waynesburg, has committed 2 fouls as well. The 1 yellow card that was issued went to Bridges in the first half. As for the Baldwin Wallace side of the ledger, Matthew Scodani has 3 shots, Dominic Macero has 2, and Max Joachim has 1. 2 shots on goal belong to Scodani. And then fouls, Omar Al-Halabi has 2, and then it's 1 each for Robbie Rochford, Max Joachim, Ben McCauley, and Braden Lamb. So BW getting outshooting Waynesburg 6-3, and shots on goal are 2-1. Saves go to Waynesburg 2-0. Fouls just about even. Waynesburg with 8, Baldwin Wallace with 6, and then corners, Baldwin Wallace with 3, Waynesburg with 1. We're going to step aside for another break, and when we come back, we'll have the second half of action for you between Waynesburg and Baldwin Wallace in men's soccer right here at Tressel Field on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying tonight's game on Flow College. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. It's NCAA Division III men's soccer action on the pitch this evening as Waynesburg and Baldwin Wallace do battle in this non-conference match. And Waynesburg up 1-0 after the first half will start with possession in the second half. We're underway from Tressel Field. While we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that tonight's Yellow Jacket men's soccer game is being brought to you by City Barbecue, serving and creating happiness since 1999. The Oswald Company, risk and insurance leaders since 1893. Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, your global automotive technology provider. Baldwin Wallace puts a shot toward the net, and it's caught out of the air by Devin Patel. Tonight's match is also brought to you by Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. BSN Sports and Nike, the official apparel and uniform provider for Yellow Jacket Athletics. And Dan Andrews and Olympic Force Products, a global recycling company. Baldwin Wallace with possession. Omar Al-Halabi redirects it up the field. And the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets commit an infraction that will result in a free kick coming up for Waynesburg. Devin Patel will take the free kick from the 24.5-yard line. Baldwin Wallace will head it away and control it momentarily. And the official on the far side said, hey, that was last touched by Waynesburg, so the possession will go over to Baldwin Wallace on the throw-in. And then a collision near midfield, and it's knocked out by Baldwin Wallace, says the official. So it will result in a Waynesburg possession and on a throw-in. It's sent down the field, but it doesn't last long as the official will redirect the action back towards Baldwin Wallace's way. It's a throw-in from just shy of midfield, and Baldwin Wallace will get it down toward the box. But it's cleared away by Waynesburg. And that one will be redirected to the near sideline for Baldwin Wallace, where it's Matt Aspinall who tracks it down, but it's sent over to Brown on the other side, knocked out by Waynesburg. Throw in for BW will be taken by Brown. And Waynesburg is content to let it roll across the end line, and it will. So that'll be a goal kick coming up for Waynesburg. Again, Waynesburg came in riding a 2-game win streak, and they looked mighty impressive doing it with a 7-1 win over Penn State Altoona and then a 1-0 win at Pitt Greensburg, all within the last 10 days. Baldwin Wallace had won 3 straight before a tie against their former conference rival, John Carroll, on Thursday. So they had played well as of late after losing their first 2 to Carnegie Mellon and Penn State Barron. Baldwin Wallace directs it out of bounds. A throw-in coming up for Waynesburg. Will be Samuel Norris who will lob it in. It's redirected by Baldwin Wallace. Macero to Rochford, and then Lamb drops it over to Macero. You'll get redirected to Rochford. He overruns it, but Waynesburg can't possess it. And Macero will get it back to McCauley. McCauley sinks it back to Getz. Getz into the middle of the field to Lamb. Lamb with a long lead pass to Rochford. One touches it to Getz. And Baldwin Wallace will be flagged for offside, so a free kick is coming up for Waynesburg. And Devin Patel will come out of the net to make it. And he'll kick it from the 34-yard line, and that is a beautiful lead kick that's headed out of play by Baldwin Wallace. So a throw-in, I should say, is forthcoming for Waynesburg. And the Yellow Jackets once again send it out of the attack. So good one-touch up the field, but Waynesburg redirects it, and we have a stoppage in play and a free kick coming up for Baldwin Wallace on a foul against Waynesburg. Seth Warwick will kick it for Baldwin Wallace. It's headed back by Waynesburg. And now it's blocked out of bounds by Baldwin Wallace, so a throw-in coming up for Waynesburg. And it will be Samuel Norris who will throw it in. He drops it back to Bowman. Bowman to Patel. Patel gets it clear of a pursuit from Baldwin Wallace. And it's knocked out by Waynesburg, so a throw-in coming up for BW. Omar Al-Halabi on the receiving end of that throw-in. Drops it back to Braden Lamb. Now it gets sent over to Matt Aspinall. Macero with a handful of jerseys is going to get tagged for the foul. There'll be a free kick coming up for Waynesburg. Waynesburg tried to quick free kick it. Macero stepped in front of the ball, and the Yellow Jackets had to be much further off the ball. So it kind of let BW get down the field. A little gamesmanship there from Macero. Scladani takes it away after a couple of redirects, and Baldwin Wallace will now get a free kick from midfield. It's Getz sending it far side to Brown. Brown with a long lead in the box, and it's caught out of the air by Patel. Patel will spin it out with both hands, then to the top of the box. He launches it deep down the field. Waynesburg will keep possession. Lead pass goes on the far side of the field. It's John Engel trying to get a good cross to a teammate. It's still held on by Will Scott. Scott has it taken away, but Waynesburg keeps it alive for the moment before Baldwin Wallace can redirect it up the field. And they'll do so again after Waynesburg seized control once more. This is a nice lead pass that'll get across midfield. It'll go out of bounds, but it'll be a throw-in coming up for Waynesburg. Not before a substitution for Baldwin Wallace. Simi Halawaj started the second half, and he was subbed out by Max Yocum. Baldwin Wallace with possession. Gets to Yocum. Now it gets to Al-Halabi. He drops a heel pass to Aspinall, who lofts it towards the goal, and it's caught out of the air by Patel. Rolled out to Waynesburg's, or rather to the left of Waynesburg's goal. And good pursuit by the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Minor collision results in Baldwin Wallace getting the takeaway. Rochford with it. Rochford in a good battle with Engel, and Engel gets a takeaway. He has a long lead pass intended for Mowbray. Mowbray to the left of the box, to the right of Seth Warwick. Drops it in the middle to Scott. It's cleared out by Baldwin Wallace. Redirected by Nick Bryan. Now headed out by Brady Brown. And it's going to be a throw-in coming up for Waynesburg. The throw-in is kicked out of the box by Baldwin Wallace. And it will be taken right back by Samuel Norris of Waynesburg. And deflected out on Baldwin Wallace. So it'll be another throw-in coming up for Waynesburg. And Joshua Smith will do the honors. He'll get it right back on a one-touch after the throw-in. And Smith walks it across the end line. Not purposefully, but under great duress from the Yellow Jacket defense. And that will result in a goal kick coming up for Seth Warwick. He launches it toward midfield to Matt Aspinall. Aspinall gets it across midfield. Drops it back to Dominic Macero. Macero to Braden Lamb. Lamb redirects it right side to Brown. Brown lofts it with the right foot to Max Yocum. Yocum controls it. But on the reception of the pass, it was ruled that he touched it with his arm. So that results in a free kick coming up for Waynesburg. Patel sends it down and misses the first header attempt from Waynesburg, and Lamb will head it away. Now Massaro goes after it, and he's in a good battle with Quabia before Bryan comes out of the pack with the ball, and his lead pass goes out of play, and it's a throw-in coming up for Baldwin Wallace. Gets into Yocum. Yocum, as it ricochet off of his chest, keeps possession momentarily, but on a pass up the field, it's taken away by Waynesburg. Now Yocum hustles after it, and the Yellow Jackets applying some serious pressure now to Waynesburg, down 1-0 early in the second half. And just like that, Waynesburg breaks contain. It's a good lead pass that overshoots the intended target. John Engel knew exactly what he wanted to do with it, but Quabia had it trickle just a little bit behind him. And now the Yellow Jackets will get the redirect, the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, I should say, before it's knocked out of play by Waynesburg. So it'll be a throw-in coming up for Baldwin Wallace. It's into Yocum, but it's redirected quickly by Waynesburg before Brown comes up and gets hit and draws a yellow card on Waynesburg. Getting tagged with this yellow card, it's John Engel. And Brown has taken a couple of hits today. He's been on the receiving end of some physical contact as John Engel helps up Brady Brown. Sign of good sportsmanship. Braden Lamb not happy with the situation. Kind of looked at John Engel as if to say, hey, that's my guy. You let me take care of him. I'm right here. But nonetheless, Brown is up. Readjusts his socks and shin guards. Trying to get loose, too. You can see him trying to hold a stretch there to loosen up some of the muscles before he takes a free kick. And Lamb heads it toward the goal. It's headed out by Waynesburg, but it's controlled by Baldwin Wallace, and it's sent out along the end line by Waynesburg, so that will be a corner coming up for BW. check that. They're going to move it to a throw-in instead. Aspinall with it. He lobs it in. Al-Halabi gives it a good track down, sends it to Brown on a pass intended for Rochford. It was redirected by Waynesburg. Brown got knocked down again. No call. We play on. Yocum with it, near side with a right foot. Good cross into the box. It's caught out of the air by Patel. Then he will drop kick it across midfield. It's headed back by Waynesburg. The Yellow Jackets will respond in kind. And tracking it down is Dominic Macero. A foul is called on Waynesburg. So Baldwin Wallace will get a free kick. As we approach 15 minutes gone in this second half, we're about a third of the way there. As Seth Warwick will come up and kick it away for Baldwin Wallace. He launches it, intended for Aspinall. It's headed out by Waynesburg, so a throw-in for Baldwin Wallace coming up. Aspinall lobs it into the box. It's headed towards the net by the Yellow Jackets, but walked out and then cleared by Waynesburg. Across midfield, Warwick will track it down with the left foot, and then it's headed back towards him before McCauley sends it back across midfield. It bounces over one Waynesburg player, and it's controlled by Yocum. Yocum using his speed to get down the field. It's kicked out by Waynesburg. Throw-in coming up for Baldwin Wallace. Yocum lobs it into the box. Miss on the header attempt. Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace with control. Left-footed shot toward the net, and it sails high and wide. So it'll be a goal kick coming up after the miss from Rochford. And a substitution for both sides. One apiece. Carter Richardson returns for Baldwin Wallace. Checking in for Waynesburg, number 13, Zachary Johnson, a 6-foot junior forward from Raceland, Kentucky, and St. Joseph Central Catholic High School, as well as number 32, Antonio Barris, a 5'10 junior midfielder from San Marcos, California, and Calvin Christian. Lead pass into the box, deflected out by Baldwin Wallace. And then it's sent out of play by Waynesburg, so a throw-in coming up for Baldwin Wallace. Quick throw-in redirected by Waynesburg. Baldwin Wallace will now send a lead pass across midfield. It's headed backward to Waynesburg, I should say. Now good pursuit up the field from Joshua Smith, and then a foul is called against Waynesburg, so a free kick is forthcoming for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Seth Warwick takes it. It's headed back by Waynesburg, and they come on a run with Johnson in pursuit. But the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace get it back. Yocum with it, near side. Drops it off for a pursuit from Carter Richardson, but it's taken away by Waynesburg and sent out of play, so Aspinall will get a throw-in. He gets it to Lamb. Lamb with the left foot has his shot stuffed by Waynesburg. And now Joshua Smith with it. Some physical play drawing the ire of the fans here at Baldwin Wallace as we play on through some of it. Crossing pass to the left side. That gets on the foot of John Engel. Engel tries to center it into the box. It's cleared out by Baldwin Wallace. Yocum will receive the pass, and he'll cross it over left side, and we have a Another foul called as Yawcomb hits the deck. And we have a stoppage in play. And Braden Lamb, he's been politicking for some calls throughout the game, and he drew the ire of the official, and now he's getting a very passionate and detailed explanation. You never want to make the guy in the orange jersey mad. And I think Braden Lamb learned that lesson without having a card issued, which is always a good thing. As that was a very passionate discussion from the official, and Seth Warwick will kick it off now for BW. He sweeps it into the box. Waynesburg will clear it out, and we'll have a throw-in. A backwards pass controlled by Baldwin Wallace out to Aspinall. Aspinall with the right foot. Out top it goes to Macero. He tried to find Lamb, but it was taken away by Nick Bryan, and then it's redirected out by Baldwin Wallace. So a throw-in coming up for Waynesburg. Engel with it once more as Waynesburg works the ball up the field. And a couple of collisions there. Aggressive play coming up at a yellow card issue to Dominic Macero. And you knew that one was coming. Baldwin Wallace has responded in kind to some physical play from Waynesburg. And Baldwin Wallace had, to this point, played a pretty, I don't want to say foul-free game, but a card-free game, I guess is a better way to put it. And now a couple of Waynesburg players are going over to the fouled party on the far side of the field, trying to refocus and set up a plan for this free kick from a little bit more than 20 yards out. The wall is set up around the 11-yard line on the football field lines. And it's just high of the net. It actually landed on top of the net. And that will result in a goal kick coming up for Baldwin Wallace as Seth Warwick. Warwick walks it out. Puts it on the line. And puts the right foot into it. He'll send it far side. Brown on the reception up to Lamb, and it's sent out into the Waynesburg bench by Waynesburg. So a throw-in is forthcoming for Baldwin Wallace. Yawcomb, surrounded by two Waynesburg players, will get it out of the pack, send it near side to Aspinall. Aspinall will drop it back to Yawcomb. Yawcomb back to Aspinall on the near sideline. Back out front to Yawcomb. He'll lob it into the box with the right foot. It's headed towards the net, and it's going to go just wide. Omar Al-Halabi had a good look at it, but couldn't direct it enough into the upper left corner of the net. That's where he was aiming, but he let it a little bit too far, and it'll be a goal kick coming up for Waynesburg. Darren Gamez on to the pitch for Waynesburg. The goal kick headed away by Baldwin Wallace. And Lamb giving chase on the loose ball. Good physical battle with Will Scott. Lamb will win that one. He'll send it to Skladany. Now to Brown on the far side. Brown has it hit into one of the Waynesburg players, and the entire Baldwin Wallace bench en masse just leapt up into the air with both hands up to say, hey, that was a handball. And the official agreed. And that's the opinion that matters. That's the one with the whistle. Brown on the free kick sends it into Lamb. It's redirected and sent away by Waynesburg. And now Warwick will come out of the net and loft it down the field. Off the bounce, it's played by Waynesburg. And now Lamb will come out of the pack with it. Lamb with the right foot on the lead pass. Sends it to Al-Halabi, who puts it toward the net, and it's wide to the right. And another goal kick is forthcoming for Waynesburg as we have a substitution. Macero will check out for Baldwin Wallace. And McGuire Alden will return for BW. Patel's goal kick nearly caromed out of bounds, but it's kept alive by Waynesburg. And now it goes into Waynesburg's bench. And a throw-in is coming up for Baldwin Wallace. And after a brief pursuit of the ball, Baldwin Wallace knocked it out of play, and it will result in a Waynesburg throw-in now. Just past the midway point of the second half, it's 1-0 in favor of the visiting Waynesburg Yellow Jackets over the host Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. 21:48 and counting on a running second half clock. As the ball is knocked out of play by Baldwin Wallace, a throw-in is forthcoming for Waynesburg. And we have a stoppage in play due to a Waynesburg player that is making an looks like he's making an equipment adjustment, like he's trying to put on his shoe that fell off as he was running down the field, and he's retying it as fast as possible, which is never as fast as you want it to be when you're on that kind of the spotlight. You never want to be that guy, and when you are, it seems like it's taken forever in 5 minutes to do something that should take 15 seconds, and really, in actuality, that's all that it took. But sometimes when that spotlight's on you, it seems like it's taking forever, and we're back underway now. As the Waynesburg lead pass into the box goes out past the end line, so a goal kick is forthcoming for the Yellow Jackets as Baldwin Wallace will send on a substitution. Nate Usry returns for Baldwin Wallace. Seth Warwick's lead pass down the field. Bounces over everybody a couple of times before it's headed out by Waynesburg. And it will be tracked down and sent over to Matt Aspinall. Aspinall to Max Yocum. Yocum with some fancy footwork on that sideline to keep it alive. Gives it to Braden Lamb, and Lamb is run over and then kind of bumped after the play, too. He got hit initially by Barris, and then he was kind of finished off right there by Will Scott, so a free kick is forthcoming for Braden Lamb. He'll lob it to the right of the box. It's headed in by Al-Halabi and then cleared by Waynesburg. So a throw-in will come up for Baldwin Wallace as Uzray will handle it. Uzray lobs it into the box, I should say. It's headed around a couple times. Bicycle kick attempt by Baldwin Wallace's Carter Richardson. He got a leg on it, couldn't guide it where he wanted to, and it went to the right of the net, and that results in a goal kick coming up for Waynesburg. Patel with a nice kick to lead the ball down the field. And Sarpong Kwabia returns for Waynesburg as a free kick for the Yellow Jackets is forthcoming. Baldwin Wallace, I should say. Seth Warwick will do the honors. He punches it down the field. It's headed by Matt Skladany and then bounced out by a couple of Waynesburg players before Carter Richardson will track it down. He gets the ball taken away. And Waynesburg still in possession of it momentarily. Aspinall redirects it into the box. It's headed out by Waynesburg. McGuire Alden tries to run through a couple of Waynesburg players, unable to do so. It's walked out by Quabia, and it'll be sent in toward the box to Seth Warwick, who scoops it up. He'll roll it out to Ben McCauley. McCauley to Alden, and it's taken away by Barris, excuse me. Lead pass for Engel. He's to the right of the box this time. And it will roll across the end line. And it will be a goal kick forthcoming for the Yellow Jackets. Substitution on its way in for Waynesburg. Liam Mowbray is back for Waynesburg as Warwick launches another impressive goal kick. When it's headed back toward him by Waynesburg. And Zachary Johnson, good first step. Gets around a couple of Yellow Jacket defenders. And it will roll out. Last touch by Baldwin Wallace on the sideline. So throw in is forthcoming. And Waynesburg had possession of the ball. A Yellow Jacket from Baldwin Wallace fell on top of a player from Waynesburg, and the official, I should say, made the call to say that Baldwin Wallace was taking over possession. Now the official just stopped play to address one of the Waynesburg players. And now the official gives another signal to stop the clock, much to the dismay of the home faithful, as several seconds rolled off. And another very passionate discussion, this one to Zachary Johnson, who was upset with not drawing a foul against the Yellow Jackets after having a player land on him. And the clock has been reset to 16:50 after a brief conversation with the official. So that 21 seconds it trickled off the clock is back on it. Warwick comes out of the net and dives on a loose ball that was being pursued heavily by one of the Waynesburg forwards. And off the free kick, Baldwin Wallace will have it ricochet back to Seth Warwick. He redirects it with the right foot, and it's headed out of play by Baldwin Wallace, so it'll be a throw in for Waynesburg. Mason Lewis will throw it in at the midfield stripe. Waynesburg will get it back from Baldwin Wallace off of a redirect, only momentarily. Now Waynesburg gets it back a little bit more substantially. Long lead pass for Johnson, and offsides is the call, and Johnson is distraught, to say the least. Throws his hands up in the air, then covers his face and throws them down at his sides in disgust. As the free kick for Baldwin Wallace comes up, and it's sent down the field by Warwick, redirected by Aspinall. Yocum with it. Yocum steps around a defender. Gets a crossing pass. Now the lead pass in the box is deflected out. Good move by Al-Halabi, who gets a shot near the net, and it's saved by Patel. Al-Halabi didn't get a chance to get much on it because he had some pressure coming his way. And now Patel will drop kick it. A very interesting situation there for Baldwin Wallace, as one of the Yellow Jackets was behind the Waynesburg keeper on the punt, and that's Yocum. And you don't see that too often, but you did on that exchange. Now McCauley sends the free kick into play, gets with it on his right foot, sends it back to McCauley. McCauley feigns the pass to Warwick, then spins around a defender. Up the near sideline with the left-footed pass on a redirect. And it's directed between the hash marks. Richardson ducked out of the way. He was about to catch one high. And as he was sliding towards the ball, he was able to protect himself. Now Aspinall with it for Baldwin Wallace. Into the middle it goes to Richardson, and he redirects it to Yocum. Yocum sends it up the field to Skladany. Skladany into the box. Drops it back for Richardson. Richardson tied up just outside the box, and a foul is called. And now the official is going to call a stop to play, a timeout, and a discussion is going to be had, and the yellow card is out of the pocket, and it's raised into the air as four different Waynesburg players, no pun intended, as their mascot name implies, swarm the official, and they are hot. Those players are upset with the call, felt that it was not a foul that was committed. And it's just outside of the box, so a PK is not in the discussion. But another yellow card has been issued, and will re-tee the ball, so to speak. Will reset the ball, I should say, just outside of the top of the box. And this is a golden opportunity for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. .13:51 left to go in the second half. 1-0. Waynesburg leads Baldwin Wallace. And Skladany stands over the ball with a golden opportunity here against a five-man wall for Waynesburg. And Patel hugging that near side post. Now he'll walk back to the middle. He offset to the left a little bit. Matthew Skladany given the signal with the right foot. It's off the wall. It's out of play on the end line. That's going to be a corner. Oh, nope. Check that. We're going to have a stoppage in play once more. As we're going to have Robbie Rochford return for Baldwin Wallace. So Nick Bryan, John Engel, and Michael Canoe will return for Waynesburg. And Skladany's on the corner, throws both hands in the air, then punches a kick wide right of the goal, and it's headed out by Baldwin Wallace, so it'll result in a goal kick coming up for Waynesburg. Waynesburg being much more deliberate as this second half has gone on. Still attacking very well, but when the opportunity presents itself, they're extremely deliberate, not wanting to make a mistake by hustling when it's not necessary. Baldwin Wallace heads the ball down the field. It'll be Skladany trying to get away from a couple of Waynesburg players, Quabia and Scott, and it's a foul on Baldwin Wallace. So a free kick is forthcoming for Waynesburg. Patel sends it deep down the field. It's headed away by Baldwin Wallace. Skladany with it. Skladany to Lamb. Lamb on the lead pass. Got it to Al-Halabi, but it's taken away by Gabe Bowman. And then it's a lead pass for Michael Canoe. Canoe trying to change direction. Gets around. A couple of Yellow Jackets can't keep it in over the end line, though, and it's out of play. Oh, check that. It looks like the official is going to say that it was a foul against Baldwin Wallace, so a free kick is forthcoming for Waynesburg. Free kick to the right of the goal. It's headed over the net and out of play. A goal kick is coming up for Baldwin Wallace, and you're seeing the urgency start to pick up more and more as the second half has gone on. Baldwin Wallace knows what the score is on the board, and they're trying to get the equalizer here in the latter stages of this second half. Good stop-start from Robbie Rochford. Helps get the ball to Carter Richardson, and the lead pass taken away by Waynesburg on the clear. It gets dropped back. McCauley loses a handle on it. Mowbray with it. And then the long lead pass is out of play. Throw in forthcoming for Baldwin Wallace. Gets into Lamb. Lamb tracks it back down off a deflection. Drops it back to Getz. Gets up to Brown on the far sideline. Brown steps around a defender and slips a pass up the field. Long lead into the box. It's Yalcom with it on his left foot. Switches to his right. Gets a shot on net, and it's a save from Patel as Yalcom was kind of losing his balance to his right and still got enough on it to put it on net. But it was stopped by Patel. And then Yalcom runs at Patel, forcing him to pick it up. And Patel will launch it. A beautiful punt down the field that rolls all the way to Warwick on one bounce. And Warwick will pick it out of the air. And he will drop kick it across midfield. It's headed up by Waynesburg, and it will go out of bounds. And possession to the Yellow Jackets on a throw-in. When we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that today's Yellow Jacket men's soccer game is being brought to you by Barron's Bus Lines, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, a great place before or after any Yellow Jacket event. And Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace University. You're enjoying tonight's contest between Waynesburg and Baldwin Wallace right here on Flow College. Warwick with it. After Waynesburg got it on the clear, it's sent up the field, redirected by Bowman. And an undercut by one of the Yellow Jackets on Nick Bryan. Results in a free kick coming up for Waynesburg. Patel sends it all the way into the box where it's headed out by Baldwin Wallace. And now another massive collision in front of the Waynesburg bench, and another yellow card's about to be issued. As it comes out of the pocket, it's raised into the air, and it's against Waynesburg. One of the Yellow Jackets grabbing at his right ankle. Can't see who it is just yet. But he's back up with the help of a teammate and walking down the field. And a free kick is forthcoming for Baldwin Wallace. It'll be taken by Seth Warwick. Warwick with the right foot sends it all the way into the box. It's going to be headed out by Waynesburg, still tracked down by the Yellow Jackets. And it'll be a throw-in forthcoming for Waynesburg as it hits off of Omar Al-Halabi and goes out of play. Another stoppage in play. The official allowing a substitution onto the pitch for Waynesburg. Zachary Johnson comes on for Michael Canoe. And this one's put toward the net by Ben McCauley. Will be tracked down by Patel. And the Yellow Jackets will rush in to make the Waynesburg keeper pick it up. And on a long lead will be Zachary Johnson going after it, and Johnson is called for offsides and again shows some displeasure with the call. He's had a few instances tonight where he's been pretty fired up about the way that this game is officiated. I will agree with him, though, when he got landed on by one of the Yellow Jackets that a foul could have been called and instead was not. Another substitution coming up for Baldwin Wallace. Before a free kick, they'll send two players back onto the pitch. 7:43 left to go here in the second half. Waynesburg 1, Baldwin Wallace 0. A physical battle ensuing there as it's last touched by the Yellow Jackets of Baldwin Wallace. And the official signaled that it was going to be a Waynesburg throw-in, and all of a sudden Baldwin Wallace is throwing it in. So two new substitutions onto the pitch for Baldwin Wallace. Dominic Massaro returns, as does Gavin Nixon. Throw-in coming up for BW. It's deflected out by Waynesburg. So now a deep throw in for Baldwin Wallace into the box. It's headed up into the air by Waynesburg. And this one will get out off of a couple of more headers from Waynesburg, but it's tracked down by Baldwin Wallace. The lead pass a little bit too long. It's going to roll past the end line, and that's going to result in a goal kick coming up for Waynesburg. Patel sends it across midfield. Misses everybody on the first bounce. And given a good chase was Mowbray, but it was redirected by the Jackets. Now Quabia will track it down before Lamb will force the issue and draw a foul against Waynesburg. Lamb with the lead on the free kick into the box. It's headed away by Waynesburg. Carter Richardson can't control it. It's cleared out near midfield. A throw-in is forthcoming for Baldwin Wallace. Aspinall with it. Drops it to Lamb. It'll be one touch back to Aspinall. Aspinall swings it back to Seth Warwick. He'll redirect it up to Brown on the far side. Rather, McCauley, I should say. McCauley checks up and then drops it back to Warwick. Warwick rolls it over to Aspinall. Aspinall drops it back to Nixon. Nixon has it redirected out of play by one of the Waynesburg players. And a throw-in is forthcoming. It'll be Aspinall who throws it back into Seth Warwick. Warwick with a powerful kick down the field. And it's sent over to Nixon. Nixon lobs it into the box. Patel is there to catch it and walk it out. Patel sends it down the field. It's controlled by Mowbray. Punched away momentarily by Aspinall. Drop back to McCauley. McCauley to Yawcombe. Now Rochford splits a pair of Waynesburg defenders. Gets near the box with a nice drop pass to Richardson. Richardson centers it on the foot of Nixon. Now it's off the crossbar from Dominic Massaro, then sent back in by the Yellow Jackets where it's smothered by Patel. Dominic Massaro had a golden opportunity to equalize the score and just drifted it a little bit too high with the kick off the crossbar, and we have a Waynesburg player that is down and being attended to by his teammates. We actually have a couple of Waynesburg players. Look like one of them is suffering from a cramping issue. His teammates trying to help him stretch out a calf. The other is getting attended to by a Baldwin Wallace trainer and the keeper for Waynesburg, Devin Patel. 3:47 left to go here in the second half. Waynesburg with a 1-0 lead. It was very nearly a 1-1 score as Dominic Macero had an open net, but roofed it a little bit too high off the crossbar. Braden Espenshade checks in for Waynesburg. He's a 5'8 junior midfielder from Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and Mount Calvary High School. Devin Patel with the ball. He'll punt it away. And it bounces over everyone. It'll be headed up by Baldwin Wallace. John Engel is there to pressure BW. And it's a takeaway from Joshua Scott. But then he gives it right back to Waynesburg, or to Baldwin Wallace, I should say. And now Gavin Nixon hustling after it. It's kicked out by Joshua Smith. The throw-in is forthcoming for Nixon. And now he'll drop it back to Matt Aspinall. Aspinall gets it in. It's one touch back to him. Now with the left foot, sends it toward the goal, and it's caught out of the air by Patel. And it will be sent out by Waynesburg. A throw in for Baldwin Wallace is forthcoming. It's kept alive on the sideline by Waynesburg. Off a deflection. And McCauley with a huge collision with Mowbray, and a foul is called against Waynesburg, so a free kick is forthcoming for Baldwin Wallace. Warwick launches it toward the box. It's headed out by Waynesburg. But a handball is called. It's outside of the box. And Baldwin Wallace will get a free kick. Stoppage in play. And one of the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets is told to ease up on the argument a little bit as a six-man wall is formed. Skladany will take it. He's talking things over with Yocum right now. Now it's dropped back to a five-person wall for Waynesburg. Skladany with under 2 minutes left. Drops it to Yocum. Yocum with a right footer toward the net, and it's scooped up by Patel. Patel launches it, and it caroms off the shoulder of Zachary Johnson, and it rolls into Warwick. Warwick will sky it toward midfield. It'll overshoot Skladany. Joshua Smith with the redirect for Waynesburg. Now redirects it again before Aspinall puts it into the air, lofts it down the field. It's sent into the stands on the fly by Waynesburg, and it'll be a throw-in for Baldwin Wallace. Aspinall gets it. And on the one touch, gets a nice crossing pass that's headed away by Waynesburg. Rochford gets possession for Baldwin Wallace. Big collision, no call. We'll play on. Yep, now we'll get a call. It'll be a free kick coming up for Baldwin Wallace with less than a minute left in this game. And now the X goes up, and we will stop the clock with 49 seconds left and allow Waynesburg to set up a wall. And Skladany will take the free kick. It'll be a 4-person wall. And Skladany with the right foot lobs it in. It's headed towards the net, and it's just wide to the left of the net by Usre. And Yawcombe couldn't keep it in. Now a goal kick is coming up. And Patel will line it up. He puts the right foot into it and clears it of midfield. It's headed out of play by Waynesburg. One final push coming up for the Jackets. Aspinall launches it down the field on the throw-in. Big collision. Play continues. And with 10 seconds left, it'll go out on the end line, and it will be a corner coming up for Baldwin Wallace. They're going to have to hurry, and the X goes up with 1 second left as Waynesburg attempted to block the corner kick, and due to the proximity of that situation, Baldwin Wallace will get to re-corner. The officials are having a conference as there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on for position, and I think the officials who are having the conference might need to have a break in that conference to address the players on both sides before this turns into a little bit of a brawl here, as there's a lot of pushing and shoving for positioning. And now the officials are addressing the play that's happening in front of the net, as there's a lot of physicality going back and forth. 6 seconds put on the clock. Skladany to take the corner. He lobs it into the box. It's plucked out by Patel, and that will do it. Even Seth Warwick had run up and tried to redirect it, and that is how this game will come to an end as Baldwin Wallace falls to Waynesburg 1-0. Baldwin Wallace falls to 3-1. Waynesburg improves to 3-2. They're now 2-2 on the road. Baldwin Wallace 1-1 now at home. Baldwin Wallace will next be at home on September 17th. That'll be Wednesday against the College of Worcester. Waynesburg will next be in action at home. They're in a nice stretch here as 3 of the next 4 will be at home on Tuesday against Carlow at 8 p.m. Then next Saturday night at 7 p.m. they'll host La Roche. And after a Wednesday, September 24th game at Westminster, Waynesburg will be back at home on Saturday, September 27th for a 1 p.m. kickoff against Bethany. Again, Baldwin Wallace will next be in action next week when they host the College of Worcester Fighting Scots in a non-conference game. And that will be a good test as Waynesburg fell to Worcester 3-2 in its first game of the season. And Baldwin Wallace will be looking to get back in the win column. After winning 3 straight, they had a draw at John Carroll, and now they lose at home to Waynesburg 1-0. They'll be at home only once over the next about 10 days or so when they host the Worcester Fighting Scots. Then it's at Transylvania next Saturday and at Oberlin the following Thursday before they're back home on September 27th against Olivet, and that will be senior day for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. Once again, the final score is 1-0. The Waynesburg Yellow Jackets defeat the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets here at Tressel Field at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University. For everyone here at BW, I'm Matt Florjancic saying have a great night, everybody, and as always, go Jackets.